What is going on, everyone? It is Grim here, and I hope you're enjoying this sunny Thursday, soon to be going in to a 4-day bank holiday weekend, where we can enjoy sunshine, fingers crossed, barbecues, beer, and whatever good stuff you have planned to just chill out and take a break from school, college, work, whatever it is you have to do the rest of the time. But, before I became the man that you hear before you, I wasn't the barbecue beer loving sun worshipper. I'm still not a sun worshipper, actually, let's be honest. That I am now. In fact, once upon a time, when Grim was but a wee-high little orc, I used to hide at the back of the cave in the darkness, my tiny tool in my hand. Don't laugh. And hunched over my undead figures as I painted them ready for the next battle. When I say undead, I don't mean your vampire counts. I mean back in the day, because I'm old, bear this in mind. Back in the day when I used to have a proper undead army, when you could have Nagash, but nobody ever did have Nagash because his model was fucking awful. What were you thinking, Games Workshop? The High Lord of the Undead, and you make him look stupid like a skeleton clown at a kid's party. Awful model. Anyway, don't want to dwell on that. Still very bitter after all these years. But as you get older, you will find that you cannot spend the money, the time, whatever, still doing tabletop gaming. That may be because, I don't know, you're off pursuing some glorious career, saving people from burning buildings. It may be because you have a girlfriend or boyfriend that doesn't want you dedicating an entire room in your house to tabletop gaming, or for whatever reason, the people you play with have gone off to do their careers in firefighting and no longer want to game with you because they think you're a little bit sad. We're not, by the way, just to let you know. The girls might love you because you rescue kittens from burning buildings, but I have a 6,000 point army, so yeah. Anyway, that is why eventually we move on to consoles and PCs, and we look for continuing our junkified fetish for Warhammer, but in slightly more affordable ways, i.e. £30, £50 games, rather than, say, £30 or £50 for a single model for the tabletop. Now, times have not been good to us Warhammer fans with regards to console gaming. And when I say Warhammer fans, I also refer to 40,000 as well as the fantasy-style Warhammer. Now, since, I don't know, if I go and look at it on the Warhammer side, you had some good stuff. Back in the day, you had Shadow of the Horned Rat, you had Dark Omen. I loved them. Now, personally, Mark of Chaos didn't do it for me. Warhammer Online, I was a huge fan of, but just, it died a death. A sad, slow death. I don't want to go into that because it saddens me, because I still have very fond memories and some great guys that I played with on that game. Then you had like Wrath of Heroes, that just I didn't even register on my radar. Warhammer Crest, that's an ISO Android game, so I'm not going to include that. But my friends, there are some good things on the horizon. 2014, 2015 is a good time to be a Warhammer console/PC player. Now, with regards to Warhammer, we have things like Blood Bowl 2. Now, as I say, I wasn't a huge fan of the Blood Bowl. Now, I'm not talking about the 95 version, I mean the 2009 version. Wasn't a huge fan, but it was still a half-decent game. I can live with that, just not a fan of the Blood Bowl setting. Then, rumour has it, although this one I could do you guys help on, because supposedly Creative Assembly, guys who did Total War, are doing a Warhammer Fantasy style game, but I've heard no news on it. In fact, I heard rumours that it's been cancelled, which is a desperate shame, because I would if they did Warhammer Total War, I would be all over that game for sure. But yeah, haven't heard any news on that recently, which makes me worry. Then we've got Rodeo Games are doing some unknown Warhammer game. All we know it's a turn-based strategy, so that could be interesting. And then, now I'm not going to dwell on this because there isn't a lot of news. I will put in a link below what I know of the article that I read. But Mordheim, City of the Damned is coming, which I am really excited about. I was a huge fan of Mordheim, generally because I love the RPG element, the fact that your guys could level up, the fact they get scars, they could lose arms, whatever. I love the fact that you could continue the story of this little band of warriors through a campaign. fantastic. Love that game. It's sad that it's kind of gone off of Games Workshop's radar. You go to their website, you can't even find any of the stuff on there anymore since they updated it, which is a desperate shame. Now, Warhammer 40k is a slightly different story because they have been saved, I would say, by the Dawn of War series, which has been fantastic. Winter Assault is still one of my big faves. I love Dark Crusade. Soulstorm, not so much, but still enjoyed it. Then you got Dawn of War 2 came along. I got to admit, I prefer the original, which you're seeing up on the screen, Dawn of War, where you could base build and that sort of thing. But that's because that's me. But Dawn of War 2 was still a good game. You know, Chaos Rising, Retribution, all good. Then I remember playing on the 360, we had Kill Team, which was just an advertisement really for Space Marine. But I love Kill Team in its own right. Now, as I just said, Space Marine came out. Absolutely fantastic. Then you had Space Hulk, the 2013 edition. That was also good. And still, it keeps coming. The stuff in 2014, we have Warhammer 40k Armageddon. That looks good. Maybe the same guys that did Panzerkorps. That's going to be really good. And the stuff that they've promised or said that they will look to bring into this game, the future of that particular IP is going to be, wow, that could be really cool. Some good stuff on that. Then you've got Warhammer 40k Space Wolf, which I haven't heard a lot about, to be honest. If you guys know anything, you know, throw something in the description. Just, you know, let me know what's going on, because I haven't heard a lot about that. Then you have Space Hulk Deathwing, which is a first-person shooter coming out on PS4, Xbox One, Windows. Looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to me and Primal being able to go through in our Terminator armor and beat the crap out of some Xenos. That will be fun. You got Warhammer 40,000 Carnage, which is a side-scrolling game. You've got the Storm of Vengeance, which is the lane strategy, Plants vs Zombie style. Then you have really the meat and veg, which is what I wanted to get into, because the other day I got an email from Behaviour Interactive. Now, if you don't know who they are the guys currently making Eternal Crusade, which is the spiritual successor, I want to say, to Dark Millennium. If you don't know, Dark Millennium was going to be the 40k MMO, but unfortunately THQ and all that good stuff happened, or bad stuff I should say, happened, and they are now no more. So Dark Millennium died. They were going to make it a single player game, then it just died, full stop. So Eternal Crusade has risen like a phoenix from the flames, and it is going to be the MMORPG for 40k. Now, they are hoping to make it cross-platform, i.e. PS4, Xbox One, PS4, Xbox One and PC guys will all game on the same servers at the same time. I have no doubt this will lead to many a PC person looking for party, no consolers. But anyway, regardless of PC elitism, I don't know whether they'll get that. I mean, Elder Scrolls Online have asked for the same thing and they didn't get it. They wanted, you know, their mega server as they call it, and it never happened. They've had to have separate servers for PS4 and Xbox. So, fingers crossed it's good. But anyway, what I want to talk about is some of the features. Now, I'll put a list of all of this down below so you guys can actually look at this for yourself and enjoy it. But I just want to give you some of the features of why I'm excited and why I wanted to share this with you guys. Okay, let's go into the gameplay, and that is, starts off, it is a over-the-shoulder, third-person point of view. Now, if you guys played the THQ Space Marine, very similar combat to that as well. So, what will happen when you log in? Well, you log in, you'll select your character, and then always spawn first in your own personal spaceship orbiting the planet. Yes, your own personal spaceship. Any of you that played Star Wars The Old Republic, you'll know what that's like, your own personal spaceship in that. Now, one cool feature that they've said is that you will be able to merge your ship with other players, so that eventually you will end up with a battle barge. So if you get enough players, big enough guild, you will end up with an orbiting battle barge. Everybody will have their own room, which will be the same size as what your original ship would have been, but it will have trophy rooms, training rooms, all sorts for the guild, which is really cool. Okay, your squad, or you, which is, you know, a solo player, then chooses a continent on the current campaign map. So basically it's a huge planet with lots of continents. you will pick where you want to land on. Once you land, you will be presented with an overworld map interface that displays where friendly and enemy squads are headed and shows you where the action and locales to be explored are available. From this map, right, the display, you'll be able to select a place to take your squad, or solo if you're on your Todd. Some locations may be rife with PvP, while others may be more intimate PvE Tyranid encounters, such as a mine that is infested. If your squad is able to clear it out, you'll gain resources for your faction. So that's part of the PvE content. Is based. I'll get in, PvP. I'll get into later, but basically they don't call it dungeons. They call those sort of things. They call it the underworld, I believe. Now, all the battle maps to plan your strategy and hierarchy tools needed to get voted leader are located in your spaceship or strike force ship. There are 3 levels, and this is cool, okay, there's 3 levels to the hierarchy in-game. Now, each squad will consist of 10 people, and you'll have a squad leader. So one of the guys in that squad will be voted squad leader. All the squad leaders can apply to be a strike force leader. Now, strike force consists of 100 players. All of the strike force leaders can apply to be on the war council. There's only 10 players at any one time are part of the war council, so potentially you could be part of one of 10 players that basically govern everything your Space Marine players do beneath you. You can also then attend meetings with other War Council members and make pacts, alliances, devious things that you can do. Now all of this is player driven. It's not some, you know, algorithm in the or sub-scripting in the game that basically says, right, now this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and dictates it to us. Real players will actually affect the global politics and the missions of what we have to do. Now they will get orders from Terra, and then they will have to decide best how to use the resources at their disposal, i.e. us the players, on how to accomplish those missions. If we listen to them, we'll get bonus XP and start up the chain. So if your Strike Force leader does the mission given to him by the council, he will get more bonus XP, and if the council complete the objectives given to them by Earth, they will get bonus XP. So all good. Okay, players that successfully overtake an enemy territory will get all the resources that come with it. Resources are necessary for making armors, weapons, ships, and fortress armaments needed to defend your faction's stake in the world. So you can actually make more ships up in orbit and all that kind of good sort of thing. Progression will be handled via experience points, which you'd expect from a game like this. This will allow you to unlock more classes in each faction, but also progress through each class zone skill. Players will listen to their leaders, will also get best, which is what I was speaking about. Requisition tokens and points are Eternal Crusade's form of currency, and will be rewarded players with will be awarded to players that contribute in the war effort. Capture objectives, following orders, killing your enemy players and Tyranids, etc. They will allow players to get bigger and better weapons and armors. In this bit I was just talking about dungeons. Called Underworlds, they will be procedurally generated and filled with waves and waves of Tyranids. Players will be able to find relics which will boost their character. Now they've said that's going to be very similar to things like Diablo 3, Torchlight, it'll be that sort of thing, which sounds really exciting to me. So why am I making this video? Because Eternal Crusade has been known about, and the previous games mentioned. Well, anybody that follows Warhammer video games already knows about all of that, so why make the video? Well, the reason being is, one, I've got excited about this again, I've looked more into it, I kind of, as I always do, I look at something, I got excited about it, I put it on the back burner, I thought this game isn't out for a while, let's put it on the back burner and we'll look at it closer to the time, see if it's worth us pre-ordering or whatever. But email came through the other day for the Founders Program. Now the Founders Program is basically their way of getting a cash injection up front, and by giving them a bit of faith and giving them your money before the game is even like out of pre-alpha, they will give you certain rewards for this. Now rather than just say, if you've seen something like Grim Dawn has a set structure, so you have 4 tiers, and depending on the amount of money you give them, depends on what you get as a reward. These guys have gone slightly differently. Basically, you will pay X amount of money to them, and that will entitle you to X amount of points. Now the point system will then go towards different things that you want to buy. They've basically tried to do it like if you're building a Warhammer army. So you give them £60 and they will give you 2,000 points. Now that 2,000 points can be used to buy things like identity items. So enhance your character's core identity with unique founder-only squad emblems, heroes, and background-related titles, biographies, and cosmetics. Or you can get something cool like a weapon skin, unique cosmetics for each race, so you can have a different funky looking weapon. Armor skins, which you would expect. Spaceship decorations, so unique cosmetics to dress up your squad or strike force cruiser interior the way you want. Then they'll do general miscellaneous stuff, so unique execution animations and pets, both utility and non-combat. So it'd be quite cool if you can get like a Thunderwolf, it'd be awesome. Then you can get vehicles, you can get founder only vehicles. Now I would somehow doubt this is going to be founders are the only ones that can get like a Land Raider, but it'd be cool if you're the only ones that get like a Crusader pattern Land Raider, that would be awesome. Then you got consumables and accessories, just the normal thing you expect. Now this email has just got my excitement juices flowing again. I desperately hope that this game doesn't go the way of Dark Millennium, but does end up becoming the game I so hope it could be. I'll catch you later guys, have a good one.